what's happening, everybody? It's Ike from Flipside Music, and welcome to What the F.A.Q. Season 4, episode, right?
Yes, episode 3.
You looked at me, you gave me the sign.
No, yeah.
Episode 3. You think there'd be more episodes, but...
Well, there should have been, but...
But, you know, stuff happens.
You guys have to imagine the episodes within, like, the episodes between...
Yes.
Yeah, like 2.5 and 1.5.
But they all know the situation from last. We explained it.
Right. Well, and it's still fairly obvious.
Yeah.
Big old
for you.
Thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, yours is
my situation is a little different, but
that's true.
I'm here. I'm close. Another couple of weeks, I think we'll be back in the,
right.
Candy corn and what are
those? Talk at your
corn
full,
nuts?
Yeah, corn. Yeah.
I think corn nuts. Corn nuts are retired for me from.
Oh.
Yeah.
That and maybe lay off the what is it what are those caramel shards? What is that stuff?
Caramel shards.
You know what I mean? Like
it was a slow death. They give caramel shards every day, like crushed glass.
Well, it's like I forgot what people. It's not hardtack. That's like that Civil War stuff. It's that caramelized stuff people put like nuts and stuff in it. It's like peanut brittle. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
That's it. What? Yeah, sorry. Caramel shards, also known as peanut brittle. Shards. Well, like the easiest thing I remember is like it feels like you're eating like caramelized glass.
Got any of them carrot slivers? Stick right in my
throat. Got any of them shards?
Oh, we're off the rails already, aren't we?
Well, that was our intro.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good. So, weekly question and answer show for those of you that are new here. This is pretty much what happens. So, we'll just jump right into the questions. Tim White asks, do you think you could get a Siamese Dream tone from the Demogorgon Deluxe?
So, Siamese Dream, Smashing Pumpkins, yes, definitely. Wouldn't be, the same as the op amp, but you could certainly do that.
You can get there.
Yeah, sure. You can definitely do that. Maybe brighter on the mids, brighter on the tone. That would probably get you. And even if you just like throw a little bit of an overdrive or a boost into the front of the Demogorgon just to tighten it, that would probably get you there pretty much. Actually, pretty much that. Just
PAF style humbuckers will probably.
Yeah, you'll have to consult Billy Corgan though about the proper color because apparently he says different colors of paint have different tones. So
blue, I think.
Consult your local Billy Corgan paint expert.
Billy Corgan does have a railhammer set of pickups.
Oh yes, well from the Reverend model.
Yeah, so those are pretty good. So
what's funny, we've sold
out there
a handful of those, and I still don't think I've ever played one.
What?
Any of the Corgans? Yeah, that we've
because
had.
They don't last.
Well, no, we usually special order
we
them.
had
like a day or two. Maybe.
No, it wasn't even. Yeah, it was the next day. We got it in, we put it on the thing, and it sold the next day, remember?
Yeah.
It was gone like that. Anyway, so while we're talking about the Demogorgon.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we have an update.
Should we shard the question?
Yeah. We shall.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys, some of you know, some of you don't. We have the Demogorgon. We started out with the Demogorgon, which we collaborated with Matt over at Stomp Underfoot. Did really well with the straight Demogorgon, the original, the OG.
Yes.
Sold a bunch of those. And so me and Dylan, our original idea was we kind of wanted to have an octave and we wanted to have a mids control.
Right.
So we did the Demogorgon Deluxe, which is also done very well.
Yes.
And we still have some in...
we do have a few, although this last round has actually gone pretty quick.
Pretty fast.
So
what you should do is, because when we're done with this run, we're probably going to be done for a bit. I'm not saying we're retiring it, nor is Matt, but we're probably going to be done with the Demogorgon Deluxes for a bit. Because we got to chatting, me and Matten.
Yeah.
And we decided we're going to do a V2.
Of the original?
Yeah, we're going to do a V2 of the original Demogorgon. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically kind of somewhat
Bridge the two?
Bridge the two between the Deluxe, and we're going to just make the original Demogorgon, but we're going to keep the mids control.
Okay, yeah.
And we're going to ditch the octave, and we're going to put it back into a smaller form factor box.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we'll probably bring, the Demogorgon Deluxe back again at some point. But honestly, in a way, it would
but we're not going to do it for a bit.
No, and I think it would be fun, even if we had Steve do another graphic.
Well, that's the...
Okay, because I was going to say...
So we're going to do a whole new graphic for the new pedal. We got some ideas. It'll probably still be a snake.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that's going to be it. But we got I got a couple ideas for that. I'm going to reach out to Steve, and we'll probably do that. Get a T-shirt done. Probably new hot sauce, too.
Sweet.
So we could do a whole thing.
We should go with like a green, like a Verde or something for this new one.
Sure.
That'd be cool. And actually, the original Demogorgon, for those of you that have, for those of you that have the original run, you'll have the black stripe. So it'll basically be purple on black. And then anybody who has like the second production of those, it was basically all purple. But it would be kind of cool, like if we did bridge the two, like almost do an inverted version of the Demogorgon Deluxe in terms of color.
Well,
so like purple and green, but like maybe make the purple the more dominant one on this
color.
One. Yeah,
because we all like purple. So anyway, that's what's happening with the Demogorgon. So we're working on it. But if you want a Demogorgon Deluxe, or you've been thinking about it,
probably
get it now. Yeah. Now would be the time to make your purchase.
Good.
And then
Gordo will be even happier than that he got one while he could.
Yeah, I didn't even get it.
You haven't got a Deluxe yet?
I got an original. But you know how I do.
I was gonna say maybe if Matt's got enough for one more, you should get. I think because like that thing. I mean, especially with the octave, like it's
I'll probably just pick one up before we run out.
Well, especially if Shane stole your original.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then you can be like
my nephew who got into playing bass. I got him into playing bass. Has now stolen my Demogorgon and is using.
Well, if you get the Deluxe, you can be like, "Fuck you, Shane! You can't handle 2 switches."
Yeah, you can't do it, man.
You can't handle that extra switch.
5,000 more hours of practice, and maybe, man. But anyway, if you want to get one now, because I don't think we're not gonna see it for quite a while. And if we do another run, it'll be a very limited run, like very limited. So just something to think about.
Yes, and if you're into that style of fuzz too, because he kind of retired the Los Scatola Nera as well. So right now, the Demogorgon Deluxe, I think, is the only way to get an octavized Big Muff, at least from Matt. So if you're gonna get one, like Ike said, hop on it now.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on.
Yeah, Tim White, he had another question. He actually had a series of things. I don't know if I addressed all of them. I think I got the main 2 though.
Tim always gives us a bunch of good.
Well, he does. He has some good feedback on like some things we, obviously we're doing. He's always good at helping us kind of narrow some things down and.
Yeah.
And he's got an attention to detail, which helps. But anyway, Tim White's second question is anything from the new 2022 guitar company lineups that really intrigued you? Honestly, this might be more of a question for you because I feel like I've been a little bit out of it.
Out of the loop?
Yeah. Because I know you looked at some of the Fender stuff during the re-up.
But the new Fender stuff, there's not a lot of new that's coming out, or like before they had the Paranormal series and all of that stuff, and there's some really interesting combinations it
looks like they kept some of those, like the baritone telly, right?
That's probably going to be the one from like Fender there's a baritone Telecaster. That looks like it's going to be really cool.
Well, the last ones we had didn't even make it a week, so.
And those were Squire
ones, yeah.
So these are going to be Fender
actual
ones.
Fenders, yeah.
Those are going to be pretty cool. I think everybody went pretty light this year. I saw some stuff. Now Fender is doing pedals. It looks like Gibson's bringing back the Maestro pedals.
Which do we know? Like, because we've actually had a few customers ask, and I'm sure these guys are wondering, especially Ben. I'm sure. Are we able to? I mean, obviously we'll have to reach out. Is that going to be separate from Gibson, or can you only get the Maestro shit by being a Gibson dealer?
I don't know.
Because at this point, like, you'd have to buy the Gibson, Mesa, and Maestro. So that's like.
Yeah, you mean all the cheap brands?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you mean you guys just need 120,000? Oh, okay.
Yeah. We need you to spend. We need to have $60,000 on the floor and just let it sit there for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're never allowed to spend it, and if you sell any of them, you gotta grab another one immediately.
Right. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about that, but it's worth the phone call at least.
Anybody else in terms of? Because I mean, you're right. Because even Charvel, like last year, they released I think almost 16 not 16 new models necessarily, but 16 variations of other models. Whereas this year, as far as I could tell, it was only like a handful. Like not even 10,
everything
I
was
don't
scaled
think.
back. At least for Fender. Fender's our biggest guitar company that we sell. You know, I mean, we sell a good amount of Reverends too. But Reverend isn't doing anything that's outrageous.
No,
they've dropped a couple things.
Well, and everybody's still trying to keep up. I think. I mean, if
well,
I was
that's
to
the
peg
deal.
it to, if I was going to peg anything for the reason that, well, it even kind of plays into the question from last week about not going to the NAMM show or whatever. I think because there's not that focal point this year or the last couple years, a lot of companies don't have that same motivation to put out a bunch of new shit because they feel like they could do the coolest, newest, best thing, and not enough people are going to see it quick enough.
Well,
maybe because I feel like
yes and no, but I think your point about the supply chain stuff and still playing catch up.
Yeah.
I think that's probably more of a factor.
Well, yeah, I think that is
than the NAMM show.
Well, yes, I'm just saying. I think another contributing factor though is why would you invest the money that would normally be allocated for marketing when you know that the biggest marketing event of the year is not going to be half of what it would normally be? Because I think a lot of them are just like, why throw the extra money or the extra effort if nobody's going to know about it?
And a lot of people aren't going because there's been a few people in some of the guitar groups that I'm in that have a lot of manufacturers in it.
Well, yeah,
and they've asked, who's going to the NAMM show, and so many people are just like, no, nobody's not going, or we're going to be very, very scaled down. Like I think Colt from Walrus responded to one of those, and he's like, yeah, we're going to be there, but it's going to be a much more toned down version of what they've done before, because Walrus has done some really cool displays. JHS has done some really big ones. Like some of the pedal companies have done some really cool stuff.
Well, the show,
and I think it's just,
yeah,
because I don't think they're going to get as much. I don't think there's going to be as many people going.
Well, that's what I mean about like,
and they don't need it.
Well, and that's what I mean. Yeah, the NAMM show was such a big focal point for a lot of brands because it's like even if it was like a fight for that weekend, if you could get something to hit those major YouTube channels, you basically had a pretty guaranteed spot in terms of like the current consciousness of buyers. Whereas I feel like without the NAMM show, it's not that it's not going to get there, but I think a lot of companies are just like, why would we throw the extra money into something if again, like you said, nobody's going to show up in terms of vendors. Even if people aren't going to show up, there's no reason to splurge and go for that extra push. Because like even Strymon now, like they've pretty much, as far as I can tell, they've said they're pretty much done with the NAMM thing. They're basically just going to release things as they want, and it's like that. I think a lot of companies are probably. Because like now without the NAMM show and with this going on forever, it's like nobody knows what to expect.
Well, I think, yes. And I think one of the big things with that is that the NAMM show, you know my opinion. The NAMM show turned just into like a YouTuber, like it's a
YouTuber convention, pretty much,
convention with gear. I think what happened was with this pandemic is just that the fact that like, the companies realize, like, why the fuck am I going to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on this big display and shoot the shit all weekend and have to pay for a hotel and all this horse shit when literally we could do all of this virtually? Because that's what everybody did the last couple of years. Like, hey, we're having a virtual event.
Right.
Why do we need to spend all this dough and have all this stuff happen? And I think a lot of retailers are in the same boat. Like, why are we spending $10,000 to fly out there? A lot of times, for me, I want to see people that I don't get to see all year.
Right, yeah.
So it's a social thing. Absolutely, and I want to see those people and say hello and all that stuff. But I think even as retailers, they're going, do we need it? We don't need to. There's a lot of retailers that don't go to NAMM because they're still getting the NAMM specials.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to write a check.
Well, I think at the end of the day, if you're pushing a product, now in a weird way, like if you're a smaller company and not, with the NAMM show not happening, you actually do have a fighting chance of getting into the conversation now. Whereas because like you said, now people can release things on their own schedule and it's not this big put. Because I mean, for a while, I haven't been to like the big electronics expo and stuff before, but to me, like it seemed like that's where NAMM was more or less progressing to, was away from, like you said, away from being really about manufacturers meeting with suppliers and vendors.
It's not a B2B thing.
Yeah, it was not that as much anymore,
because
because that's the way the old Electronics Expo used to be. But now it's more or less like, hey, look at our new thing, showing all this shit, getting all this attention. It's an attention fair.
Yeah, it's
much.
basically a big marketing event.
Right.
Not like NAMM wasn't, but it was at one point it was more B2B type stuff. More business to business and not business to YouTubers.
Right.
Like, hey man, remember? Hey man, can you move over here in my shop?
No, yeah.
Fuck, smash in your face. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that was a long. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. Yeah, we probably ranted a bit on that one, but it's still. I mean, I think it just brings up a good question of like, even you and I being in the middle of this shit, don't feel like a lot of this stuff is as present right now in terms of like new releases. It's just not. It doesn't feel as big this year.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
like you said, I think everybody's kind of playing catch up. So okay, moving on. Terry 3G says any ETA on the cool Fender stuff coming in, like the 40th anniversary Squire stuff and the 80s Made in Japan reissue stuff.
Yeah, okay.
There's some expected dates, but I'm not holding anything to anything. I hopefully we'll see stuff by March, April, but we'll see. Stuff has gotten pushed back, and anything can happen. But that's part of the expected. I was going to say it did kind of factor sort of into Tim's question, which is why I didn't really bring it up on that last one. But the 80s Made in Japan reissue stuff, I do think is kind of a cool. Like, I think that's a cool nod for Fender to do, and it's probably the right time to do it because most of the guys that would still be in the market that probably bought stuff originally then that would want one of those, a lot of them are in the spot to do that now. Whereas, like, it seemed, I think for a while people like, because all the any Made in Japan guitar I've ever played, I've really liked. It's been good.
Yeah, so it's like
there's also an opportunity because maybe the Japanese manufacturing facility they have can accommodate that instead of their Ensenada factory.
Right, instead of further burdening,
because Fender's not stupid.
No, it's a good point.
Fender's not stupid.
Yeah.
And they're going to manipulate and work the thing that's going to be to their best advantage for profits. Right. So that's like when I read that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I think I see what you're doing there, Fender.
No, but that is a good point. Like, don't further stress the two factories that you can't keep up with already.
Right.
Like, go ahead and move it to a third one and produce something else for a while, and like that's a good idea.
Right, and some of the moves that they've made that we know about as a dealer that the general public doesn't know about.
Right.
It explains some of the reason why they did some of their stuff this year, the way they made the requirements for dealer requirements.
Right.
So, if you want to know about that shit, you got to pop in the shop because.
Yeah, we can spill the beans there, but not necessarily on the tubes.
I'll never admit it. I swear.
Yeah.
But okay, moving on next. Metalhead Hippie says, when are the new address T-shirts being made? Any timeline?
So yeah, like T-shirts for the new building.
For this new place. Once we get closer to getting in here, we'll probably...
we don't want to like drum up a bunch of hype and excitement before we're actually like in here. We don't want to get to be like, oh, hey, we're moving. And then, because we felt like we kind of did that, and we're already past where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So like, rather than like stepping in that shit again, we'd rather like wait till we know we're gonna. Because I don't know. I imagine we're gonna release those shirts probably the like week or two before we're coming in here, or something along those lines.
Yeah, probably something like that. But we also got to figure out the
kind of a grand opening situation.
It.
Even like if people come in like the first weekend we're here, I'm sure we'll try to have those ready then. So
yeah, it might be just a limited edition grand opening shirt,
right? Which would be fun. Obviously, Hippie will save you some.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I got a couple ideas. Like maybe we do the shirt and the van up front. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So we're still kicking around some ideas. Maybe a big monkey.
Yeah.
Playing guitar. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool, like an 80s big monkey.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're not sure yet. So
actually, it would be funny, like,
or maybe a UFO hovering above the building.
Actually, that would be kind of cool. Have like all the gear getting sucked out, like guitars and amps flying up into the
like
thing,
old school.
But yeah, right above our belt. That would be cool.
Like old school sci-fi style.
That would be cool.
I don't know. We might get the same guy that's going to do the Demogorgon I get some good ideas.
Well, because we could just take a picture of the front of the shop and he could pretty much just, that would be great.
With the van and then figure out how to make all that happen.
That'd be cool too, having the van get like partially sucked up.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it would be kind
You could be in there like against the window.
in the
van.
No, not even. No, I'm in the spaceship.
Oh, there you go.
With a probe.
That would be or just like an alien with like a big finger behind you. Yeah.
Oh no, it's the probe.
It's like, wait, is that the alien's finger or is that Ike's hand?
We have to make sure we text. Maybe we should make sure you text yourself that so we can put it on the list.
Oh yeah,
we do this all the time. Like we'll get an idea, and we're like, text yourself that so we can put it, so we can write it down, so we could remember.
That or if one of you guys,
or only if we had some kind of documentation.
Exactly.
Where this was available for us to visit again. What could it be?
It's all assuming the camera doesn't try to fuck us again, though.
Yeah, it might.
It worked pretty good last week, and thanks for the response too about the background. I actually thought it looked pretty cool too.
I did too.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah.
So just think about
cool.
this.
It almost gives us like a natural. I don't know if you caught it or not, because at least on my screen, because I know
a natural glow.
No, there's that. But like, it looked like there was almost a natural vignette kind of thing because like the edges of this are darker. So I thought it kind of gave it a kind of a natural vignette. I thought it was cool.
Cool.
At least it looked like that on my screen, but I know everybody's screens are a little different.
Very cool. Yeah, we're going to have this whole wall. I don't know if we said it last week, but this whole wall right here is going to be kind of a stagey type thing.
Yeah.
And
imagine a blank white wall that will be better.
Yeah, 24 feet long by 8 feet high.
Yeah, of
this.
Yeah.
It's going to look pretty cool. You'll see. Bloggy bits will be coming soon too because I'm actually there's some things that are starting to happen that can happen, so.
Like, here's some paint drying. And
we're going to watch this for a while. Look at how it just fades right in.
Just a live stream of a paint bucket. Yeah. All right, Jack the Rabbit. His question is, what's going to be the next big thing for guitars? Do you see any new trends coming in 2022? And if yes, what are they?
Laser beams.
Laser beam, yeah.
And
laser beams and bongs in your guitar.
Tuners.
Yeah.
Laser beams, tuners, and can openers. Bottle openers.
Actually, yeah, the Texas Toast one I don't know if that really took off.
It didn't take off, but I got one with it and it works nice.
Well, I think Chris was saying they might need to figure out a way to reinforce it, like if they could make a drop-in blank so that it's not stressing the wood as much.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Chris was saying they did need to rework that just a little bit to get it to just so you're not like popping the wood out.
They need a piece of metal in there.
Right.
So what's the next big thing for guitars? I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. So much has been done, and I think we had a question similar to this recently.
We did, yeah.
But so much has already been done, and so many things have been tested. And it's really funny because I saw a post on one of the guitar forums, and somebody was like, why aren't there more modern guitars out there? And it was like, well, what do you expect?
What else is they already cut the heads
Fender
off.
a few years ago, they took the heads off. Fender a few years ago had the strat where you could put the card in. Remember?
Yeah.
And it could change the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Gibson had those pop in and pop out tone stack things.
Right. And then Gibson also tried the fucking tuners that auto-tuned, which everybody hated. Obviously, we hated them too. I think we still got a couple of those in the boxes from when we took them out and put Grovers back on Les Pauls.
That sound is kind of haunting.
Jeez, yeah. So, but I mean, a lot of stuff has been done. The problem is that it's been rejected. So the things that stick around are pretty much mostly traditional. But anything like modern conveniences or new trends,
well, and also
it's hard. They don't last very long.
Part of the thing with a modern guitar or whatever people might be imagining in that sense is like the human body is not changing. And therefore,
mine's changing.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not like we're growing extra limbs or anything, for the most part.
Speak for yourself.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, I think at the end of the day, that's the thing, though, is like the way we play guitar is not fundamentally going to probably change that much because it's just, the body is the way it is and the guitar kind of is the way it is.
I think the approach of how you're making music is going to the needle's going to move more on that.
Well, yeah, and I think
happens than the actual instrument itself.
Right, because sonic space is what you can still explore. It's not so much I think every guitar maker is always going to, because every person's different. Every maker is going to have their own little tweaks, and even those traveler guitars that like Ethan brought one in the other day, and it's like the thing was like maybe this big. the tuners were in the bottom of it. It had no headstock. You basically just propped it, on your leg, and it was like his travel guitar. And it's like those, to me, those are still pretty interesting, and only in the sense that like that I feel like that's as far as you can take the whole modern guitar thing. I mean, like you could go, you could start adding other electronics and things, but like you said, none of that has taken off.
Right, and it's been done.
Right.
Oh, well, what if we put a distortion in there? It's been done.
Right, like
it's already been done. Like
Yeah.
effects on board your guitar has been done, and everybody was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we've even seen isn't there a cable that has a rat pedal in it?
Well, there's that, and some
like
company had figured out, they were basically taking like the Boss SY1, and they took it out of the pedal itself and put it into a guitar, pretty much. And I was like, that one was pretty cool because you could basically turn it on, and all of a sudden everything changed. Again, though, like most people are still just going to buy a pedal. They're not going to buy a whole guitar that's been modded just to have that when they could really just.
And if that's the case, all acoustic guitars would go away.
Right. Well, then there's a good point though too. Like if the acoustic guitar can be as strong as it still is today, I still think oh damn it, it just switched off, didn't it?
Oh no! I'm in the darkness. I'm trapped in the darkness, Dylan. Help me! Help me! Are we back?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're back. Whew, that was scary.
Shaky. There we go.
That's scary. At least it's not like a marathon.
I'm actually surprised.
47 minutes. It was a marathon.
Yeah.
Because we just.
Well, it was like.
Because I think we're starting to not give a shit. We're just like, we're going to do the thing and it's going to be as long as it's going to be. Because we used to try to keep it in that 20 minutes. And it's like, the people that are going to listen are going to stay the whole time. And there's other ones just aren't. So
oddly, I
let's
think
just
we've
do our
actually
thing and not be
gotten.
rushed.
Yeah, we've gotten better responses from the longer. Like the longer it's gotten, actually, the better.
So the next thing, 2-hour F.A.Q.
Yeah.
All right, go get
Well, actually, too, I guess
sell some popcorn.
I mean, obviously, you guys do want to see us from time to time, but I do still find it interesting that the podcast version, did much better than we have for a while. So it's like, if you guys would rather us do that, let us know, because we have other ideas for the video part of it. So it's like, if you guys want us to more or less just throw some cameras on, do it more podcast style. That
we could certainly do that.
Yeah, because there really wouldn't be a massive change to the way we're doing it. If anything, you and I could just have a slightly better seat, and just than these stools. Yeah. If anything, that would be the only.
I still
thing.
question. I mean, like.
Well, I know, like one of these days we're just going to drop it.
These can't be rated for our weight. They just can't. They just can't be. I bought these cheap shit things from Vola.
Well, like rather than them falling apart, the woods will just like.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Then we just cut, and then you have a cat. That'd be awful. But I'm just saying that actually would be.
I don't want to
skit
cast.
though. No.
God, that would be terrible. All right, let's back on track. Okay, so I think we answered Jack's question. Next question comes from Ben Coombs, our preferred Canadian YouTuber. It says tips on offsetting neck dive on a guitar.
You know what? I almost feel like I might need.
We've answered this question before.
We have, and
it might have been.
I don't think it was
asked.
from. Well, no, this one I don't think was from Ben because it actually might have been Colin. I think that asked this the last time.
Oh, could have been. Yeah.
Yeah. But and if I remember that correctly, I don't know why that's ridiculous, but
like a trap.
Well, no, it's just weird because I wish I could aim that at more things. Because like I do, pretty good memory, but not. Well, even the other day, like I remembered, it goes back to the whole thing we've talked about it before with Jake, where like somebody can tell you what guitar they have, or if you see them play that guitar, you'll remember them and that guitar.
Yeah.
But fuck their name, you won't know their name. But like this guy came in and hadn't seen him in like 2 years, and I was like. Black D'Angelico? He's like, yeah, how do you remember that? And I was like,
That's kind of what happens.
Yeah. But no, it's one of those things that the offset neck dive, I don't know that I've ever had to deal with it. So I feel like I'm not, like I have ideas, but I still feel like a lot of them, I've never had to actually deal with it. So I don't know what to really suggest.
We haven't had any practical.
Yeah, I almost feel like I need to go about getting a guitar that has some neck dive just so I can tell people like, what the real solution is.
So some things that I've seen is your strap button placement. That's one.
Yes.
Also,
weighting the bottom of
the strap, or weighting the depending on the guitar, possibly weighting the cavity.
Yeah, I think maybe Ryan from RNA said somebody had taken, what was it? It was like buckshot. They took basically like a hacky sack of buckshot and put it in their control cavity on the bottom of the guitar. And I was like, it's not a terrible idea. It seems a little weird, but it's not a terrible idea.
But that's a way to. Also, there are lightweight tuners available in the marketplace, so you could also, look at getting lightweight tuners. I mean, they're not that heavy, but I think that could be it. That's heavy enough. 8 ounces could be enough to tip it over. I mean, obviously there's a balance point. So,
well, I was gonna say, I've never been an SG user just because they're. I feel like they're too tiny for me. But I feel like SGs, at least of what customers bring in, those seem to be the worst, especially the ones that have like the big fat like 60s neck on it, because like a lot of those 60s SG necks are a little thicker than, which is weird. It's kind of the opposite.
You could also get a strap that has a little bit more
but yeah, more resistance. Yeah,
grippiness, I think is the technical
grippiness.
Yeah, grippiness
grip
is the technical scientific term.
But yeah, I mean, I can't. Like I said, I've never dealt with it myself, and that's one thing I love about the Explorer. Actually, is it literally sits like you let it go and it'll self-correct to playing position
right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it literally balances to playing position. So, and even as heavy as Pickles is with the weight relief strap, it doesn't neck dive though. It's not. I've still never had. There you go. Throw a Bixby on there.
Boom.
There you go. Just solved it. Throw a Bixby on there. Yep. Yeah. Done.
But then I gotta restring it. I don't want to restring it, Bixby.
All right. Yeah, if you can't restring a Bixby, get some better pliers.
Yeah, you gotta get the round pliers.
Yeah.
The 2 prongs rounded, and you crimp.
Yep.
Capo
or locking tuners. Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yep. But yeah, no, we just solved all. We just solved all those
problems.
But yeah, I can't think of anything better than that. But again, I've never had to deal with it. So
yeah, me neither. Tellies,
Strats and Explorers at this point.
All right, I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. We appreciate the questions.
Yes, appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember what I said about the Demogorgon. So yeah, that's it. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.